The man who led Pakistan to its maiden World Cup victory, Imran Khan, was to lead the country to its new avatar. At least, that is what Pakistan's voters hoped in 2018. But in the last 3.5 years since Imran Khan became the Prime Minister, much of this has changed. Of the many hats that he donned in his life so far, Imran Khan, the Prime Minister, has been the highest point and now perhaps his lowest.
On the day Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered his troops to march into Ukraine, he had a visitor. The Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan came calling. For the first time in 23 years, a Prime Minister from Pakistan had paid a visit to the Kremlin.
What a time I've come, so much excitement.
The scheduled meeting was for 1 hour, but it stretched to 3. It was the beginning of Putin's Russia being cornered by the Western powers. And Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's visit turned out to be a show of solidarity. It served both parties, because back home in Pakistan, Imran Khan too was being cornered politically by a united opposition.
ये नए पाकिस्तान की शुरुआत है, जिस हमारे नए पाकिस्तान में बड़े-बड़े डाकू अब से असेंबलियों में नहीं जाएंगे, वजीर नहीं बनेंगे, वजीर आजम नहीं बनेगा, सदर नहीं बनेगा, बड़े-बड़े डाकू अब जेलों में जाएंगे.
The man who came to power promising a Naya Pakistan or a new Pakistan, halfway into his term as the 22nd Prime Minister, is facing removal. Pakistan's economy is in deep crisis. The pandemic has not helped. And the prosecution of opposition leaders added to Imran Khan's dwindling popularity.
पुलिस के थ्रू उन्होंने पार्लिमानी लॉजेस पे हमला करके शो ऑफ फोर्स किया और जो धमकी खान साहब 27 फरवरी का दे रहे हैं कि अगर कोई मेंबर ने अपना वोट का हक इस्तेमाल करना है तो उनके कारकुन के बीच से जाना पड़ेगा, वो भी एक थ्रेट है यूज ऑफ फोर्स का.
The Prime Minister of Pakistan responded with his own jibes.
गवर्नमेंट बचाने के लिए ये जो थ्री स्टूजेस वाली ऑपोजिशन है, जिसमें चेरी ब्लॉसम भी एक है, पहले दिन से ब्लैकमेल करने की कोशिश है. जब मौका मिलता है हुकूमत को गिराने की सिर्फ एक वजह से कोशिश करते हैं कि जनाब हम कोई खास अल्लाह के मखलूक हैं, हम चोरी करें, डाका मारें, इनको कोई खास ऐसी मखलूक है कि इनको सब कुछ माफ हो जाना चाहिए.
Cornered at home, Imran Khan showed a brave face to the world. At the recent Organization of Islamic Cooperation meet held in Islamabad, Imran Khan urged leaders of the Islamic nations to mediate in the war in Ukraine.
May I suggest that the OIC, during its discussions, the foreign ministers, we should think about how we, represent 1.5 billion people, how we can mediate, how we can bring about a ceasefire, how we can try and put an end to the conflict. I'm going to meet His Excellency Wang Yi after this, and I want to discuss how maybe OIC along with China, how we can all step in and try to stop this conflict, which is going to have, if it keeps going the way it is, it will have great consequences for the rest of the world.
But however much Imran Khan puts up a brave face looking outwards, inwards at home, the rallies against him only keep growing. Because just like in a jungle, in politics too, the opponents have smelt blood. And the opposition parties of Pakistan are not going to let up till Imran Khan's fate gets decided on the floor of the House.
Before Imran Khan became the Prime Minister of Pakistan, he was the fierce opposition leader who rallied the youth and downtrodden to vote for his novice political party, PTI. From 1997 to 2018, it was the story of the transition of world-class cricketer to politician to lead the country.
आप रिजाइन नहीं कर रहे और इसलिए मियां साहब हम यहां से नहीं जा रहे जब तक आप रिजाइन नहीं करेंगे.
Before he became the Prime Minister, Imran Khan was the vociferous leader of the opposition who fought for the people of Pakistan.
ये डाकू मुल्क को दोनों हाथों से लूट रहे हैं. हमारे पास पैसा नहीं है मुल्क चलाने के लिए. कर्जों में ये मुल्क डूब रहा है. और जी वो बच्चे स्कूल में नहीं जाएंगे. 2.5 करोड़ बच्चा स्कूलों में नहीं जा रहा. वो बेचारे इस मुल्क के शहरी नहीं है. हमें शर्म नहीं आती. 35% बच्चों को मेलन्यूट्रिशन है. मेलन्यूट्रिशन का मतलब बीमारी है कि खुराक नहीं मिल रही पूरी. और आज ही इस्लामाबाद में मुश्किल पड़ेगी जी. वो स्कूलों में जाएंगे. ये वो लोग हैं जो पैसा बना रहे हैं इस करप्ट निजाम से.
In 1997, Imran Khan had founded his political party Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf or PTI and stood for elections to the National Assembly of Pakistan. He contested from 2 constituencies, that of Mianwali and Lahore, and lost both of them. It would be 5 more years before Imran Khan could get himself elected to the National Assembly from Mianwali. It was also the lone seat for his party PTI. Imran Khan spent the next 5 years consolidating his role as a valid political option for the voters of Pakistan. The PTI boycotted the 2008 elections, alleging that it was being rigged. At the same time, Imran hit the streets in a campaign to mobilize the youth and public opinion against the established political leadership of the Bhutto Zardaris and the Sharifs. Imran offered hope to a young generation of voters who were seeking change. Sensing the mood, many leaders from the Sharif and Bhutto camps began to jump ship, adding to the groundswell building up behind Imran. Despite a high-voltage campaign, Imran Khan's stars were still to align, and 2013 was not going to be the year when he would dominate. His strong electoral rallies and an accidental fall, followed by a last-minute appeal to voters from the hospital bed, got his party 34 out of the 99 seats that the PTI contested. For the first time ever, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf emerged as the major opposition in the National Assembly of Pakistan. Charged by the unprecedented and swift success that he was enjoying, Imran Khan went on the offensive. He launched his Azadi campaign against the Nawaz Sharif government. Protesters led by Imran Khan and his ally, the Canadian Pakistani cleric Mohammad Tahir-ul-Qadri, camped outside Parliament for more than 2 weeks in August 2014. They were demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. The demand never changed, and Imran Khan never let up. He kept the momentum going, agitating against not only the PMLN Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, but also the Bhutto Zardari clan at the head of the PPP.
The problem we are facing is that political parties don't have democracy in them. They are family parties.
In 2018, success was finally his, as Imran Khan, the comparative political novice, defeated the 2 parties that had always been at the helm of Pakistani affairs. In the elections that year, Imran Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf became the single largest party in the House. And though short of absolute majority, he did manage to cobble a coalition that formed the government. Imran Khan once again donned the cap of the captain. This time, not that of the Pakistan cricket team, but of Pakistan itself.
Imran Khan was famous as the Playboy. The cricketer Imran Khan was popular for his brilliant strokes and outstanding bowling, and he was equally famous for his string girlfriends. But all that changed as soon as he declared his marriage to Jemima Goldsmith. Since 1995, with the rise of Imran Khan, the politician, there was also a new character created. Imran Khan, the much-married man, thrice so far.
Field there for LBW's gone. Imran Khan, the great Pakistan all-rounder.
There was a time, long ago, when Imran used to be a very fine bowler, both on the pitch and off it as well. Even later in life, when Imran Khan, the cricketer, was becoming Imran, the politician, His off-the-pitch bowling record shifted from easy catches to being caught out well short of the boundary, and multiple times too. The first time that Imran was declared caught, it was 1995, and politics was possibly just a gleam in Imran's eyes. But the gleam that caught his eyes was that of a daughter of the British financier James Goldsmith. Once upon a time socialite, Jemima converted to Islam at the time of their marriage. Together, they had 2 sons and portrayed the picture of a happy family. Jemima was the cornerstone during Imran Khan's first foray into election campaigning in 1997. But 9 years of the Imran-Jemima marriage ended in divorce in 2004. They remained friends, and when Imran was arrested and politically persecuted in 2007, Jemima rallied behind her former husband from Britain. When Imran Khan was accused of money laundering, it was Jemima Khan who tweeted to prove his innocence and provided evidence in his favor during the legal battle. For about a decade after his first innings, Imran Khan sat out at the pavilion for bachelor politicians. And then he padded up to bat again. In 2015, the now 63-year-old Imran Khan got married for a second time. A whirlwind romance with a British journalist of Pakistani origin had Imran Khan's popularity rising more than what his political moves could. In Pakistan, everyone spoke about how the handsome Pathan was a charmer, and how, in both his marriages, he had swept much younger British women off their feet. Jemima Goldsmith had been half his age at the time of their marriage, and Reham Khan was 2 decades younger. But it was there that the similarities ended. In his shortest marriage innings ever, Imran saw Reham Khan stomp off the field a mere 9 months later. But this time the How's That call was acrimonious, and Reham Khan's bitter memoir 3 years later hurt politician Imran Khan's homegrown popularity. But marriage, unlike cricket, need not end in just 2 innings. However badly mauled Imran got in the second one, he took guard once again in 2018. 6 months before he was to become Prime Minister, Imran Khan married for a 3rd time. In a low-key ceremony in Lahore, he teamed up with the one who the local media dubbed a faith healer. Bushra Wattu was the stark opposite to both Jemima and Reham Khan. The bride was flanked by her mother, brother, and children. She was covered from head to toe in a burqa. And it seemed that once again Imran Khan was changing the makeup of his team to suit the requirements of the pitch he was bowling on. As the flamboyant ex-cricketer raising money to build his cancer hospital, Jemima had been a big help. As the flashing Pathan tackling the big bad boys of politics, Rehan had fit the picture. But as Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Imran Khan needed Bushra Wattu's silent presence managing the family herd.
His political innings may be coming to an end, but Imran Khan, the cricketer, will continue to live on in our memories for years to come. The man who won Pakistan their only ODI World Cup back in 1992 was arguably the greatest all-rounder of his generation. Here's a reminder why Imran Khan will forever be etched in our minds because of his cricketing achievements.
The greatest cricketer Pakistan has produced, the biggest heartthrob of his generation, Imran Khan's gazelle-like leap and reverse-swinging Yorkers were a topic of discussion in living rooms all across the world.
Oh, he's bowled him. That's hit the leg stump.
He may be the Pakistani Prime Minister now, But before his plunge into politics, he was the Imran Khan who brought home the ultimate glory. The 1992 World Cup. But even before the triumph of 1992, Imran was one of the most popular cricketers in the world. Owing to his all-round brilliance with both the bat and the ball. He hardly played any domestic cricket in Pakistan, and yet in tests, he was arguably the best all-rounder in the 1980s. Cricket greats Ian Botham, Richard Hadlee and Kapil Dev were other three, and even they were floored by Imran's skills. While others witnessed decline with age, Imran just got better and better. He played 51 tests in his last 10 years of international cricket, averaging a phenomenal 50 with the bat and 19 with the ball. But there were moments of despair too for Imran. In the aftermath of the 1987 World Cup, Imran Khan retired from international cricket after Pakistan bowed out in the semis. However, upon President Zia-ul Haq's request, he made a comeback in 1988. His career's crowning moment, though, came down under in the summer of 1992. With luck on his side, during the group stages, Imran galvanized his side into a winning machine in the knockouts. And the 39-year-old led from the front in the World Cup final against England. Pakistan were in a spot of bother at 24 for 2, but Imran top scored with a 72. His innings helped the men in green set a target of 250 for England. Celebrations began when he picked up the final wicket of Richard Illingworth, providing his countrymen a moment to remember for a lifetime. His popularity reached fever pitch after the triumph, with millions hoping to emulate the superstar. But Imran never played international cricket again, deciding to go out on a high. Sports Bureau, India Today.
That's it on this special broadcast, leaving you with this report of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who really isn't alien to controversies. From geography mix-ups to allegations of sexual harassment, here's a report on the controversies Imran Khan has been embroiled in. Thank you for watching.
Imran Khan, the man in the spotlight, is surely having sleepless nights. His future as Prime Minister of Pakistan looks bleak, and no amount of damage control at this point could revive his prospects. This brings us to think, how well did Imran Khan fare as a world leader? Well, the number of controversies and slip-ups the cricketing demigod has been involved in while in power has made him the prime target of social media trolls. Let's start with Imran Khan's knowledge in geography. In 2018, during a speech at the Envoys Conference on Economic Diplomacy in Islamabad, Imran Khan referred to Arica, a port city in Chile, as an emerging country. At another official event in Tehran, Imran alluded that Japan and Germany share borders.
On the border region of Germany and Japan, they had joint industries. So now there's no question of them ever having bad relationship because their economic interests are tied together.
Unfortunately, Imran Khan's struggle with basic physics was also out in the open when in 2018, in an attempt to praise China, Imran Khan said China has launched trains that run faster than light.
चाइना में यही सफर 4 घंटे में, यानी कराची से लाहौर पहुंचना, चाइनीज की जो अब ट्रेन चल रही है वो 4 घंटे में पहुंचा देती है, और वो जो अगली ट्रेन बना रहे हैं वो शायद 2 घंटे में पहुंचा दें, क्योंकि वो स्पीड की लाइट से भी ज्यादा तेज अगली ट्रेन्स डेवलप हो रही हैं.
Imran Khan's math appears to be poor too. While speaking at an event and glorifying New Zealand's victory in the World Test Championships final, the former cricketer got India's population embarrassingly wrong.
1 अरब 300 करोड़ आबादी है, उनको उन्होंने वर्ल्ड टेस्ट क्रिकेट की चैंपियनशिप हरा दी.
Respecting women and their choices is not something Imran Khan can boast of. In an interview with HBO, Imran said, "Women with little clothes instigate men." He then tried to backtrack, saying he would never say something like that.
If a woman is wearing very few clothes, it will have an impact on the men, unless they're robots. I mean, it's common sense.
Allegations of sexual harassment haunted Imran Khan in 2017. His party member, Aisha Gulelai, accused him of sending obscene text messages to women members of the party. While quitting the party, Aisha said the honor of women associated with Imran Khan's party was not safe. If anything, Imran Khan has managed to successfully maintain his Casanova image all through his oscillating career. In fact, his second wife, Reham Khan, in her autobiography has claimed that Imran confessed that he had fathered at least 5 illegitimate children, some of them Indian. Imran was a bachelor for the first 42 years of his life. In the years that followed, he married thrice. Ironically, for the Playboy image attached to Imran, each of his wives turned out to be more conservative than the other. His first wife, Jemima, had her hair open. Second wife, Reham, partially covered her hair. And third wife, Bushra Bibi, covers herself fully, including the face. Now, public information confirms that Imran Khan has 2 children with first wife, Jemima Goldsmith. Unfortunately for him, he was heavily trolled for getting married to the British heiress, who was half his age. The Pakistan Prime Minister also faced international scrutiny in the 90s after British girlfriend Sita White claimed that Imran was the father of her daughter. Imran denied the claims, which led to a bitter legal battle until a Los Angeles court ruled that the 4-year-old girl was indeed Imran's biological daughter. He was finally forced to accept it. Some revelations made by Imran Khan's second wife, Reham, are cringeworthy. In her autobiography, Reham states Imran was obsessed with black magic and claims she caught him rubbing black lentils all over his naked body to ward off evil eye. Well, it looks like Imran Khan has surely mastered the art of blissful ignorance. Bureau Report, India Today.